Good morning, everybody. It's Valerie Ling here, clinical psychologist and affectionately known as Dr. Bernard. How you going this morning? This is going to be an authentic live stream. I wanted to capture and share with the whole world an authentic live stream to share with you that I have rough days too. So I thought it's really important to counter this culture of having it all together, looking supercharged, and that burnout is not a position. Burnout prevention doesn't come from a position of defeat. It actually comes from a position of fight. Good morning. So let me share with you why I'm actually having a challenging uphill week. It was always going to be challenging because I worked a 7-day week last week. It's 7 days for me because our weekends are supercharged because, I'm a minister's wife amongst the many hats that I play. So the weekend actually is a switched on weekend. And I had also a talk. Now, when I say yes to things, I generally look at my diary and figure out when I'm actually going to recover. And so we had that. I've also I got promoted in my exercise program. I was very excited to be promoted to a next fitness level. And of course, when you do that, the exercises get very, very difficult and require greater mindset because you're actually realizing like you can't actually finish the program. Oh my gosh, I shouldn't have done this, etc., etc. Plus, my kids are in exam mode at the moment and they're in a new school and not for their own choice. The family had to move and they got swept along in the change process of that. And everything is new for them. And even the way that their new school does exams is really new. And so the ship's morale is low. The ship being the family, mainly the kids. Ship morale is low at the moment. They're both tired. I can see that they're giving every ounce that they've got to try to stay encouraged because they can't tell, right? Because it's a new school, they can't tell how they're doing. And so they're using these comparisons of how their friends are looking and things like that. And I've also had to cancel 2 programs this week, right? One program in the practice that we had hoped to launch but didn't take off, and one program in my burnout space, which is my own work, which also didn't take off. Now, I'm saying these things to you as if they're matter of fact, but you need to know that anybody who understands burnout and has an experience of it will know that the internal stuff was a lot more difficult, right? Yesterday or a few days ago to even be able to articulate. I've cancelled. And here's the reason, and this is what I wanted to share with you. The show up, push through mentality that we have when we are so invested in what we're doing, whether we're personal carers or in our work, is so strong, and we can actually forget just how much of a force it is within us until we've actually got to stand against it. And it took me a couple of conversations, one with my coach and mentor, one with a friend, and another one with actually grabbed the person I was doing training with the last 2 days to fight against that mindset that was basically saying, if you cancel these programs, you're not showing up. If you're not showing up, you're disappointing people. If you're disappointing people, you're actually, for me, it's not so much the unhappy thing. You're actually not staying true to your mission. Wow. That was really hard. Now, I've got 2 choices here. There's some good reasons why we needed to cancel the 2 programs. I detest doing that. There are some good reasons, and for me, I have to actually really go back in and look at what does that mean for me? What's stopping me? What's the barrier? Why am I procrastinating and avoiding this? What's behind this? And it took basically going into a chamber, not where I'm hearing the echoes of my own thoughts by myself, but going into a chamber of reflective space with other people who are able to provide that consistent picture of those messages aren't true. Work through them and actually to pull the plug yesterday on the 2 programs. So that, was very difficult. And then, of course, then your brain tells you as well, now look at ship's morale at home. People are looking deflated, etc., etc. You wasted all that time. Like, now it will come to nothing that you've canceled programs and dragged the family through it. And now what was it all for? So that's another one up here, right? That you've got to, I've had to work through. It goes on and on and on and on. But here's the thing. That's why for me, self-care is not about stopping. In fact, I don't even like self-care. I much prefer a stewardship of resources model in my mind, a stewardship of resources. I've got a physical body, I've got a mind, I've got emotions, I've got relationships. There's a bunch of things that goes into your resources. The stewardship of resources model for me says that I've been given plenty to serve plenty. And being a steward of resources means that every now and again all the time, I'll need to pull back and reflect and say, what is causing, which tanks are actually pulling into empty? It's because being a steward of resources means that I honor that which has been given to me, and I take stock and make sure that I'm managing those resources well. And because I could see that multiple levels of what I was thinking and experiencing was up here, not so much in my body, but up here, right? Very quickly, I've had to make a decision about the antidote to this, because if those resources are going on empty, it's going to impact every other tank. I won't eat well, I won't sleep well. I'll be back in self-sacrifice mode. I'll be back in pushing through mode, right? And so today, my 6 R's, I've got to go through and figure out which tank it is and which process is required. So restore, replenish, reflect, rest. What is it? Which of my 6 R's are they? And I figured out that although today is a work day for me on Thursday, I'm actually going to swap around my day off because I've had a max week last week. I actually need to reflect and restore right now. I've got to pull back and take some time, etc., etc. I've got to replenish. I've figured out where that is. And so I made the decision that today will actually be the day where I'll need to flip things around on its head a little bit so that I can actually take care of what's going up here, so that stewardship of resources is honored. So I'm about to head off now to do that. And I'm telling you, my mind is rejoicing at the moment. It's funny, like once I made that decision, it was like they started to have a party. My brain is saying, thank you, please read something other than burnout literature today. We're so grateful that you're just going to get on the train and read something else. Hooray! And I think, just recognizing how much it was depleted and craving that, or I'm depleted and craving that, and honoring that and attending to our cues. So that's a little bit from me this morning. I hope this has touched you in some way and helped you to reflect yourself which tanks are pulling into empty and what processes you need for yourself. Take care.